welcome along to the ProjectCars2 Virtual Racing League, where today we are continuing with our PS4 Ginetta Junior Championship. It's round 8 today round 7, at Brands Indy, and in a little bit of a twist from the previous rounds, it's going to be 2 races here today. So we're going to have race 1 and race 2 both decided by qualifying beforehand as well. So Brands Hatch Indy circuit, the short layout of Brands Hatch, of course, not the GP layout, the longer one. So we're going to expect some great action here today, an historic racetrack. And heading into this is Monty MC Momo, who's leading the way on 56 points ahead of Stuart Davis on 48. Those two have been class of the field this year, has to be said, sharing all the wins between them as far as I can recall. So it'll be interesting to see. Monty could win the championship, of course, here today if he scores enough points. But the midfield is really interesting as well, with Del Boy, Alex, Welsh Taff, Dan Holloway all in the mix, and Pixie not far behind as well. Then we've got Matt, and Mike as well battling away there, and a couple of newcomers to come here today. So let's have a little look at the highlights from Germany last time out. Excellent stuff, and if you didn't see that race, it's well worth going to check it out, and don't forget to subscribe. But anyway, the starting grid here today looks like this. It's Monty MC Momo, championship leader, pole position. What more can you ask for? But look at the difference there. To Stuart Davis, only 42 thousandths of a second to Stuart. It's going to be really close. Welcome along to the championship, Icebreaker, although actually, you might think it's someone new. It's not. It's Dan Holloway, BDCC Dan, just changed his gamer tag, so it's not someone new. So welcome along anyway, BDCC Dan. Mike Gunn there in 4th place for his 2nd race of the championship. Tyler Autobomb is a newcomer, welcome along. Del Boy, Welsh Taff, Pixie, Matt and Alex Brown rounding out the order. Alex Brown, of course, he uses qualifying for practice, so that's why he was last probably. Anyway, looking at the grid now, waiting for the lights, and it's go here at Brands Hatch. Fantastic getaway from Monty MC Momo. I think he's beaten Stuart Davis off the line for once, has he? Oh, Stuart's fighting back though as they go into Paddock Hill now. And I think Stuart's got the lead off Monty. He had the inside line. Oh, there's a bit of argy-bargy stuff going on. Oh, smash into the barrier. Who's that? That's Welsh Taff, I think. There's Pixie running wide too. He's going to the beach. And it's Stuart Davis. And now Monty MC Momo's having a bit of a battle with Icebreaker / Dan Holloway. You're going to have to call him Dan Holloway, I'm sorry. I can't call him anything else. Dan Holloway is in the green machine. And look at the action now coming through as they go down from Druid's corner and into the midfield section. Slam! That's Matt. He's made an error there, I think, or possibly it was just a racing incident. We'll have to have a look back at that, what happened there. Matt had to come together with, not sure who that was. We'll have to have a look at that. But anyway, Dan Holloway's really on the hunt now. He's looking at Stuart Davis. Dan Holloway does seem to like this track, and he's really put himself in the mix here. He's having a good little battle in the midfield, so he's really putting himself at an advantage ahead of his midfield rivals here. There's Pixie. He's recovering. I think he might have had an incident. Yeah, we saw him off in the beach, didn't we? So race control now. Start is under investigation, Alex. What do you make of the start here now? As Dan Holloway's defending hard from Monty MC Momo.
Pretty hectic start, as it looks like MC's going to have a look around the outside, possibly a cutback. Oh, mistake there by Dan. He's almost right on the grass, but they're both on the grass, and so that cancels that out. But yeah, a few incidents in the first lap. We usually expect that when everyone's trying to jostle for position. But yeah, it looks like Tyler's down in 10th now, so I think that was him spinning at the third corner. But Monty's all over the back of Dan in second now, as this is going to let Stu scamper away possibly. But we'll have to see how things go.
Yeah, I might have called that one wrong actually, sorry. It was Tyler Autobomb who was 10th. But anyway, that's rather a shame actually, his first lap here of the championship at ProjectCars2 Racing League, and he finds himself down in 10th. But he's shown the pace he's got, so expect that car to be coming back through the field. Pixie could have his mirrors full soon. We have to wait and see, but Pixie of course has been going very well as too in the championship. He'll be looking to get back up there towards Matt, who he's battling with. Stewart making a mistake by the looks of it, and Dan Holloway wasn't quite in a position to have a go there. And these two cars look very similar, don't they? Two baby blue type cars here. Slight difference between Mike and Matt.
Yeah, well, I think that's Delboy actually in fourth, battling with Mike.
Oh yes, it is. Sorry.
Yeah, Matt's in the black and red car just behind him, and Mike's all over the back.
You can tell
of
about a week
Delboy.
off from commentary.
Yeah. And look, is that Mike going for a lunge? Oh, he's just hit Delboy.
Yes, Delboy, he's smashed into the advertising board and he's taking it with him across the grass now. That's such a shame there. I think, what do you make of that? Do you think, is that Mike just a little bit too ambitious? Just punted Delboy off a bit there?
Yeah, I think...
Might see a replay.
Yeah, I think he just went for a gap that closed. Did you see Pixie now?
It's a start now.
Yeah, on board with Pixie. Good start. Everyone had a good start, to be fair. Looks like he's going to the outside, which is quite good, really, because trying to avoid everything. Oh, and it was contact with Welsh Taff that sent Welsh Taff off, so that's the reason he got speared off. And then looks like as we go on board, yeah, just tapping the back, fishtailed, and into the barrier.
Yeah, this is on board Mike now. Let's have a little look. He saw a gap, didn't he? He went for it and couldn't quite back out of it in time there. Very unfortunate, and I think Delboy probably just wouldn't have expected that at all, would he? You can have a go into there though, can you, Alex? It is one of the overtaken zones on this circuit.
Yeah, you just got to be closer though. He came a bit too far back, and by the time he was going to try and go past Delboy, was there taking his normal racing line, and yeah, you imagine he might get a penalty for that, but you see there he's under
investigation now.
Yeah, under investigation, but these front three are so close.
Absolutely, look at those lap times. 57.7, 57.3, 57.3. So Stuart Davis was the slowest of the trio there, leading trio. And do you know what this has done though? These three could be battling a little bit here. This could turn into a 4-car race before long, because we've got Mike back there in 4th, and of course he is under investigation at the moment too, but you know, it's a bit unfortunate. It's good to see the newcomers getting stuck in, isn't it? I think it was just unlucky, that one. But, you know, he could join this battle too. But look how hard they're battling. Oh, Monty MC Momo Championship leader on the inside now of Dan Holloway down into turn 1. Has he got the inside line? Dan's going to try and brave it round the outside. I think he's leaving some room there just in case Monty decided to throw it up the inside. But I think he had a great run out of that one. And, yeah, as you were, Alex, now.
Yeah, Dan had the advantage of going on the outside. He could just swoop around and go for it. But it shows Monty's thinking of trying to get past Dan and get all the points he can, because he's still got a championship to win. So look back now at Pixie, who's sort of pulled away from Tyler, and he's now getting close to Welsh Raff. As we see Monty going down the inside of Dan. Dan will defend her on the outside. He'll have the inside for the last corner, but Monty will probably just swoop around the outside. Yeah, he's doing it now. Careful not to go into the gravel. They're going to be side by side going down the straight. It's going to be who's bravest on the brakes, I have to imagine.
Yeah, very sensibly there, Monty MC Momo. He got around the outside and immediately went to the inside to cover it, to say to Dan, you're not coming through here today, Dan Holloway. And Dan Holloway says, okay, I'll try and get through another corner instead. But he's run wide now slightly, and that's not going to help him at all. And Monty, now we've seen this before from Monty, has a slightly slow start. As we see race control there, no action necessary at the start there, because you know, there's concertina and stuff. It's quite tricky for the drivers, isn't it, straight off the line there. But Monty MC Momo, he does work his way into races, and he's starting to come alive now, and he's trying to catch up to Stu. And this is Dan Holloway and Monty trading paint here, and Monty did excellent here to go around the outside. And it has to be said, fair play to Dan too, to leave him racing room, because he could have easily just run him wide there, couldn't he?
Yeah, put him straight off into the gravel on the left, but I think Monty was a bit too far ahead, and if he had tried that, he would have just spun him and it would have been a penalty regardless, so it was not much point really. Just fight another day and go again.
Yeah, both of them there, fantastic racing, that's what we like to see. And now Stewart will have his mirrors full of his arch rival, as it looks like Dan has fallen back slightly at 1.7 seconds behind the leader. We've still got a nice margin over Mike in fourth. As we look at Matt, now Matt is doing an absolutely fantastic job up there in fifth. It might be his best running that I can remember him actually in this championship at the moment. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, definitely his best runner at the moment, but he's got a tough competitor in Alex behind him who will be trying to catch him, and he was half a second faster last lap. We see Welsh Taff with his battered and bruised Ginetta, with Pixie chasing behind him. There's quite a close group there, and talking of close, they've got the championship rivals battling away, and that's Monty looking down the inside. He seems to have a better exit of the old hairpin there, but they're pretty even as qualifying showed, so it's going to be interesting to see where Monty can pass, and does he just try a dive?
And of course the championship is at stake here, even though Monty's got a bit of a gap to Stu, about 8 points I think it is. It means he can actually kind of sit back a little bit, but of course he doesn't want to do that. We got 2 races here today, so half points awarded for each one, and so 10 points normally, so 5 points it'll be for the win for this race, 2 15-minute races. And that's Welsh Taff going slowly by the looks of it, and I don't know what's happened there. He's under attack now from Tyler Autobomb, who goes past in that blue car, fantastic. And 10-second time penalty for Mike there for causing a collision. You have to assume that's with Del Boy.
Yeah, I think that's for the instant with Del Boy, and that's pretty fair really. He did take him out, and Del Boy's down in 10th, and Del Boy's been quite unlucky this championship. He's had quite a few incidents that weren't his fault. So yeah, he'll be looking forward to whatever the next championship is and get the Ginettas out of the way. But it did look like Welsh Taff had another incident there, and that's allowed the new boy Tyler through to 8th position. Oh, dive!
Yeah, down the inside, Monty on the bump, rising on the bumper here. Stu saw him come in and left a little bit of room in that orange car, and he just about squeezes his way through and still maintains that lead position. Wow, that was fantastic riding on board there from Monty. You saw that gap, and he's really aggressive considering he's leading this championship. He's not going to let Stu rest at all, is he? And Stu is going to be doing absolutely everything he possibly can to stop him coming through, because he's running out of time now to win this championship, is Stuart, and he knows it, and Monty knows it too.
Yeah, I think Stu will probably have to try and win every race, and hope Monty has a few hiccups along the way, but the way Monty's driving, you have to doubt it. But Dan's still in the way. He can pick up any scraps that happened here, but there's a lot of pressure Stu's under at the moment, and we saw in Hockenheim he spanned from pressure, so let's see how this goes. I wonder if Monty will try another dive. Stu will be wise for it, and he does. Oh no, he fakes it. Tries the outside then, but I think he's lost a bit of time doing that.
Yeah, he can be a bit too clever sometimes, can't he, with trying those sort of moves, but yeah, you got to try it though, and he has a bit of a free go there with Dan Holloway not bothering his mirrors too much behind him, so you could afford to have a little go and see what happens. And like you say, Stu did make an error under pressure, didn't he, last time? He had probably the world's biggest drift in a G40 car before he slammed into the barrier, so I don't know if it really counted as a drift in the end. But anyway, Stu, yeah, he said about Monty that he is like a machine when it comes to lap times. He's just so consistent all the time. And Stu, we've seen him faster than Monty on occasion, but he hasn't been as consistent as he's made more errors, and that's the difference between the two of them in this championship at the moment. They're both extremely fast drivers compared to their rivals in this series. Clearly the best overall, but the difference is Monty has been rock solid. And he's going for the inside again. Yes, trading paint, the two championship rivals, and he gives Stu a little nudge to say I'm coming through, and he is through now as they go onto the pit straight, and Stu will not like that at all as he's got his mirrors full now of the green machine. Incredible action here at Brands, and Dan Holloway is battling all the way over Stu now, and he really wants through, and he's going to try and pressurize Stu as they go into Druids. This has really now put Stuart on the back foot, of course, losing that lead, and he's run wide, and Dan Holloway's got the inside line now as they go into Druids corner. Paddock Hill, they just came off, and Icebreaker / Dan Holloway is through into second though. Terrible half a lap or so for Stuart there.
That was such a smart, subtle move by Monty there at the last corner of the last lap. just Dan and Stu are now touching, but just to go for the inside move and just put Stu wide, so he had to back off, leave him in clutch with Dan. And as I said, Dan did try and get past him as Dan's going on the grass. And, and it looks like they touched. But yeah, that was such a smart move, and hopefully we'll see that again now. Have a look at Alex Brown, see what's happened to him. Braking, yeah, just outbraked himself into the gravel. Back on the track, that allowed Pixie to go past. So Pixie picks up another place. But this will be it. Let's have a look. So Stu just ahead. He's going to go take the normal line, leaves it wide, doesn't expect Monty to dive so far. Monty dives, gives him a bit of a nudge, which pushes him wide, so that's going to have to put Stu off throttle and just let Stan catch him up and try to overtake him. That's quite a smart move, even if the other drivers might not like it.
Yeah, there's nothing much Stu could have done about that. Monty was coming through, and the thing with that is he was very assertive. He wasn't half-hearted about it at all, was he? So, in those sort of moves, you've got to be kind of assertive, haven't you? Because sometimes half-heartedness gets you into trouble. Yeah,
definitely. A lot of lock on Alex's car there. It looks like he's got a bit of understeer, but he's all over the back of Pixie now. I wonder if he'll try a dive around the outside. Pixie's half covering, so he'll go on the inside. Alex brakes a bit later than Pixie, but he'll be on the throttle sooner, if that's why he's braking. And looks like Dan and Stu are battling again. Ooh, Dan Hawley on the inside line. He should have it. Stu will probably go for a cutback, because Dan will have to go a bit wider unless he goes slower exit. That'll give Stu an advantage around the outside, which he does do. And Dan's going to be quite hard to pass into the first corner, as we saw with Monty earlier on. But pretty sure Stu will be able to. Oh, he swapped back to the inside now. Both braking as late as possible. Dan taking a bit of a wide line, using the green on the outside. Goes for the cutback. Perfectly done there, and he'll have the inside for the hairpin. Will Stu return the favour and do another cutback? You have to imagine. Yes, he's trying. But that's disadvantaged him for the next corner, and Dan's still just ahead. But Stu's going to be desperate to get past him.
Oh, it's like cutback city here. They're just one corner leading into the other. And this track actually does promote that, and these cars do promote that as well. Very close racing, and constantly setting up the overtake for like 2 or 3 corners ahead, isn't it? And there's Alex Brown running wide now, and these two are very good friends, of course, Pixie and Alex. And Alex did make that error, which allowed Pixie through. Pixie's having a fantastic race. He's put himself into a position here where he is fast enough to battle here, and very solidly in the midfield, it has to be said. And you can see Matt just up ahead there too. Pixie has pulled a bit of an advantage now over Matt in the championship. At one point they were quite close, but Pixie is going along very nicely. And these two now, they don't want to battle too hard because they want to catch Matt, and they are catching him as well at the rate of over a second a lap, despite the fact that they're looking in the mirrors at each other a little bit. So this is going to get really tasty soon. And of course we've got Tyler Autobomb coming back at them too. He's lapping very nicely indeed. 57.8 the last time round. That's race leading pace for Tyler Autobomb as Alex runs wide now.
Yeah, just outside wheels onto the gravel. That's not going to help his cause at all. Allow Pixie a bit of breathing room, and there's not much breathing room between these two. As Dan's actually pulled a couple of car lengths, but the Monty MC has just booked it now, and he's gone. He's had enough of those two, and he's gone off to win a championship.
Yeah, of course there is still a chance that Stu can win this if Monty wins this race. Stu can still win the championship, but he is losing out now in that tug of war, isn't he? Quite clearly. And Monty himself was just relentlessly marching towards the championship here. It would be his first championship if he does win it, of course. And we've got 1 round left to go after this. So we've got another sprint race coming up soon at this track, and then another round after this at another track. But Stuart now, he desperately needs to get past Dan Holder, because you never know what can happen. Monty could disconnect somehow from the race. Then that's just tough luck then, isn't it, if that happens? We have seen it happen before, so it's not game over yet for Stuart, but he really does need to get past Dan Holloway if he can for the championship now. And this is Alex Brown down the inside into Druids on Pixie. Pixie turns in. Alex says, I've got this corner, sorry, I'm coming through. I know we're good friends, but I'm going to just push you a little bit wide to show you I'm coming through anyway. And Pixie says, alright, then I'll get you at the next corner if I can. Nice move there by Alex Brown.
Yeah, really good move, quite assertive as well. Even if it did look like he had understeer, he was just going to use Pixie as a buffer anyway. But Tyler in the background's definitely catching up as we go on to the last laps as Monty goes through. As, I think the director's had enough of us getting the laps wrong.
I was thinking the same, actually. It's actually very handy that it says final lap, because if you've watched any of the other races, Alex and I often get confused when the last lap is when it comes down to these timed races. Although actually at the top there, just say lap 16 out of 16. So. Anyway, Dan Holloway is still ahead of Stewart, and Stewart is doing absolutely everything he can. Of course, Stewart has been racing in the GT3 Championship too, and he has found himself stuck behind other people as well. But he himself is a good defensive driver, so he does know the ins and outs of how to defend, doesn't he? But he does know the ins and outs of how to lunge as well, and Dan Holloway knows that, as he really covered the inside line there, expecting Stewart to lunge. And Stu did try and think about it, but there was no room through on the inside there. And I think he's going to run out of time as Monty MC Moma comes across the line to win the first sprint race here at Brands Hatch and collect 5 points. And very close on the line there with Dan Holloway and Stuart Davis. And look how close Mike was in the end, Alex. Really close in fourth there.
Yeah, it really shows the battling between those two allowed Mike to catch up, as we see Matt come home to fifth. A fantastic position and finishing position for him there. He's really done well. As we see, who's that? Delboy and Welsh Taff fighting for the last position. No one wants that spot. As Welsh Taff goes off, he was tried his best, but it didn't come off, and that's Delboy through to 9th and Welsh Taff in 10th.
Yeah, no points for those two, and they are in the midfield battle very much with the likes of Alex Brown and Dan Holloway. So that's going to really hurt them coming home in 9th and 10th, out of the points. And that's, this is what happened on the final lap. I was wondering actually how Tyler Autobomb suddenly ended up ahead of these two. So Alex Brown ran wide, Pixie ran a bit wide as well in sympathy, but managed to get past Alex Brown, and then Tyler Autobomb sneaked through on the inside. Fantastic, opportunistic drive in there after, of course, a spin on the opening lap, which didn't help his course. So, yeah, great driving by Tyler Autobomb there, so you can see the final standings of that race.
Yeah, it's a very opportunistic move there by Tyler. I think Welsh Taff and Delboy do get points. I think it's down to 10th, isn't it? The points. So we'll have to see at the end of the championship points board. But yeah, Monty with quite an easy win in the end, 4 seconds up the road from Dan Holloway and Stewart, just to rub it in, fastest lap as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's clearly very hooked up at this circuit. But having said that, it's Stuart Davis who got pole position for race 2. Look, 57.1, a couple of tenths ahead, or 1.5 tenths ahead of Monty MC Mombo there. And then Dan in third. He's going along very nicely at this circuit, is Dan. You're hoping to win a race maybe here. Welsh Taff in fourth, looking to recover from race 1. Mike there in fifth position very nicely, and Tyler Autobomb. Good to see how he gets on. Hopefully no incidents for him in this race. Delboy and Alex Brown, Pixie, and Matt there in 10th, who had a fantastic 5th place at the first one. You see Alex wiggling his wheels there, the trademark wheel wiggle, and off the grid they go now. And Stuart Davis gets a good start, so does Monty and Smomo, so does Dan. They all get away very nicely indeed, actually, coming out into turn 1 now. And Stuart Davis is leading the way ahead of Dan Holloway and Monty MC Momo and Welsh Taff. Going down now, down the hill, very close, and big spin! Oh dear, bang, crash, and the bonnet going flying there. You can see the Ginetta engine there in the bonnet bay. And there's Matt now on the inside of Tyler Autobomb and Stuart Davis. And do you know who it was? It was Monty MC Momo, championship leader, who is off in 10th place now. And also Dan Holloway. So this is really fantastic news for Stuart Davis up in the lead. His two main rivals are, well, I'm not going to say out because it's only visual damage. They could come back, but significantly disadvantaged for this race 2 here at Brands Hatch Indy. Sensational stuff. And Mike is in second, and he's going to be having a clear run now to see how close he can get to Stu. It'll be really interesting, this will. And Del Boy as well, Alex Brown up there in fourth. Alex had a fantastic start to get up there in fourth as they come round to complete lap 1. And this is Matt as well, had another excellent start. Matt's really nailing his starts recently, staying out of trouble nicely. And he's under attack a little bit from Tyler Autobomb, who's in 6th. Then we've got Pixie 7th. Dan in 8th, Welsh Taff is back in 9th. That's terrible stuff from Welsh Taff. I think he was caught up as well, wasn't he? In Monty MC Mommo. Oh, dive there from Tyler Autobomb. He bombed it into Druids and got ahead of Matt. And Matt's looking for the cutback, and Pixie behind in the yellow car looking to pick off scraps. But Tyler Autobomb is through now, and he's got a nice little bit of clear track up ahead to that red car of Alex Brown to try and catch him. But Alex Brown as well is no slouch, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Now we've got Mike and Delboy battling as well, and we all know what happened in race 1.
Yeah, it's like a proper Ginetta Junior race, that first corner with the chaos, but yeah, that's a huge moment for Stu, getting away in the lead and avoiding any incident, especially with Monty in last, but it's still quite close. Anything can happen. It'd be good to see where Mike stacks up against Stu, but he's under attack from Delboy. Delboy's will get the inside line. He'll probably try a dive here. Yeah, dives down the middle, trademark move, and through he goes. So just shows if he hadn't been knocked off in the first race, he might have been up there fighting for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. We know how quick Delboy is as well, and Mike as well for that matter, and Alex Brown. They're all quick drivers. But side by side we go now again. I was going to say trading paints, but they're pretty much the same colour anyway, so there's no point in trading the paint there. But yeah, Mike and Delboy, they are battling hard though. They are losing time now to Stuart Davis, who is pulling ahead. He's 2.2 seconds ahead now. That's another 6/10 or so from the last lap that they're ahead by. That he's ahead by, sorry. So and Alex Brown there, he's just holding back a little bit, isn't he? He knows probably what happened to them in race 1. And do you think these two will be thinking about that? About what happened in race 1 between them?
Yeah, because he doesn't want another 10-second penalty, so he'll probably be a bit more careful, but he's ahead of Delboy at the moment. But they're battling away hard, so anything can happen, really. Yeah,
and you look at Mike, covering the inside there. Delboy's really trying to get back through here, and running a little bit wide there for Mike, but that's okay. A lot of the cars do that coming out of there. So you want to avoid the inside curb, don't you? That's the thing. Otherwise it really unsettles the car. And this is Welsh Taft now battling away with Monty MC Mommo. These two cars are very similar, aren't they? His number 17 car is Welsh Taft by the looks of it, and he's got an excellent run here on Monty coming out of this corner. And then side by side they go now as they come up to the last couple of corners. And there's Pixie in the yellow car, he's in 6th. Tyler Autobomb has passed him up into 5th there, and Matt is in back down to 7th now. And side by side now coming through the last corner. They're both in the number 17 car, and running wide is Welsh Taft, and Monty MC Mommo is let off the hook there very nicely. Terrible start for Welsh Taft after having such a promising qualifier. That's a real big shame for him. And pressure is on in the midfield now as Mike drives around the outside of Delboy by the looks of it, and Delboy's looking for the cutback here. And they collide again. Oh no! I can't believe it. And they're not so bad though, they get back on the track, but Alex Brown must be thinking it's his birthday.
Yeah, they're like magnets, those two. They keep attracting to each other straight to the barrier. But I guess they are similar colours. Yeah, it's just you'd think they'd learn from the first race, but Delboy being happy, he's not trying to find his way back on the track, and he's still in 3rd place, and it was only Mike that really lost 1 point, so it's not too bad for both of them. But even after that little instant there, Delboy's all over the back of Alex already.
Excellent stuff here at Brands Hatch Indy, race 2 of course, and Alex Brown really covering the inside. This has allowed Stuart Davis to pull out a 5-second lead now. He's really cruising in this race. He's got no rivals at all as they're all squabbling away over 2nd position. Whose turn is it going to be next to go into 2nd? Tyler Autobomb fancies a go, and that's Delboy trying to go around the outside of Alex Brown. Alex Brown leaves him room, and very fair drive in there indeed, and they're still side by side now, and I think Delboy is driven clean around the outside of him. Alex Brown though is not going to lie down yet. He's still fighting back in the red car, the number 3 red machine on the curve. And Delboy backs out of that one, and Tyler Autobomb drives straight in the back of him. They're not expecting that at all, and it's giving them a little bump draft as they come onto the straight. They all went through on Alex Brown. It would be like a train, I think, if one of them gets through on the inside there, but Alex Brown still holds firm. Fantastic.
I was wondering if Tyler was going to use the old NASCAR trick and bump draft both of them past Alex down the straight, but I think he just backed off. But it's all kicking off in this battle for 2nd and 3rd place, and you still got Mike there in 5th, who's still just as fast and was actually fastest that last lap, so he'll be in this as that's Delboy through. That's Tyler now having a look through. Alex getting absolutely abused here. The Hellboy's going to try and scamper. Alex is now back into 3rd place. Tyler will want to try and get his first podium, but then you've got Mike behind him, so he won't give any rest. Then you got Pixie in 6th place behind him, wondering, I could catch him, let's have some fun.
Yeah, Pixie certainly would want to join this party here, as would Matt as well. But Matt's going to have his mirrors full of championship leader Monty MC Momo at the moment, who's really trying to go into damage limitation here. He won't be panicking too much, of course. He has still got a nice lead in that championship. But this is now Alex Brown under pressure once again. And you can see there Tyler Waterbomb and Mike in particular just going down the inside. Is he going to get both of them? Mike down the inside. Oh, for Tyler Waterbomb. And Tyler Waterbomb, oh, he touches Alex Brown, sends Alex Brown wide into the gravel. Oh, Alex Brown off into the gravel there. Such a shame for him. He just got a little bit of a tag behind him. And that's Mike and Tyler Waterbomb through there. What do you make of that, Alex? Oh, and Pixie through as well.
Hard to say really. They're all fighting so hard as Pixie now takes is that 6th? No, 5th, and Alex fighting back. They're side by side now, but yeah, I think it was a tough one really. Tyler's trying to overtake and also defend from Mike, so he's trying to break a bit further. Oh, that's Mike now down the inside of Tyler, and now he hits him again. Is that sent up? Yeah, that's sent Mike off into the barrier. That one's a bit more clear cut. I think he just didn't realise where he was braking and just hit the back of him. That's probably going to be a penalty.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Unfortunately for Tyler Waterbomb, he was trying to get the cut back, wasn't he? But going up really wide, and I think he even surprised himself how much speed he managed to take to the apex of that corner. And perhaps they saw it coming as well, Mike. But who knows? But anyway, Pixie and Alex Brown find each other on the same bit of circuit again, but this time in 4th and 5th position. And the two friends here will be battling hard, of course, and they'll be wanting to keep Mike behind, who does seem to have a lot of pace, has to be said. Pixie really on the mission. You can see him really pushing and hustling that car, going over the curb there. And he really wants to get a great result here. Up in 4th would be a fantastic result for Pixie in this championship, in this race, sorry. But he needs to keep this red machine behind, doesn't he? He needs to try and this circuit is one that you can really overtake.
He's
as you saw in race
himself.
1, and it's fantastic action here. Yes, Alex Brown outbraked himself, and that's allowed Mike through.
Yeah, just same mistake as the first race. Outbraked himself trying to get around the outside, and Mike's the benefits from that. And that's Monty up in 7th. He's caught these guys now. So it looks like they'll have someone else to contend with, especially with the pace Monty's doing. He's in low 57s. That's fastest of anyone on the track currently. And Stu's having a nice drive around the track. He's on his own. He'd be quite happy with that, especially after the first race with how much pressure he was under. But, back with Mike, he's battling Pixie now, so he's come back through. He was past Alex then, and Monty's right on the tail of these guys already. He's kept some phenomenal speed in the first 2 corners.
Yeah, he's a bit of a train foreman now behind Pixie, but he's a very good defensive driver. But he's left the inside line here open a little bit, and he can't close it now. So Mike's through on the inside of Pixie. So maybe Pixie can try and switch to the inside if he can't manage it, or maybe he'll just try not to fight this one too hard and try and battle Alex Brown a little bit instead. But Mike is now through, so we're going to see what pace he's got. And Pixie's run wide, and Alex Brown tries to get him. And Monty MC Momo goes down the inside of both of them. Really mugs them there, Monty MC Momo in the white car. That was excellent, opportunistic driving, exactly the sort of thing we'd expect from the championship leader here. And that was typical of Monty there, getting through. And Pixie can't believe it, he's wiggling his car in retaliation. And Alex Brown can see the wiggle, and he's trying to get through now. Alex Brown now on the inside of Pixie as they go down in the red car and the yellow car, trying to outdo each other still. There's never-ending battle between those two. But yeah, Monty MC Momo has really benefited from all these fighting cars going on, hasn't he? And where do you think he's going to finish at this rate?
If he's anything to go by his lap times, you can imagine him on the podium. Especially if I haven't seen anything say Tyler's under investigation for his little incident, but he could even catch him up even without a penalty if he doesn't get one. But he's already on the back of Mike in 4th. So, but you have to imagine Mike's going to be quite a harder car to pass than getting past 2 cars out of back and not realising he's there.
Yeah, definitely, and Mike will be certainly aware that Monty is going to be all over the back of him soon. And they're not too different in pace as well, so it will be a bit harder. You can see Monty really tucked underneath the back of Mike's car there, and Mike knows he's there clearly, and he's going to try and get a clear exit now as they go onto the straight, and Monty's going to be trying to suss out where he can possibly overtake and where the strengths and weaknesses are of the relative two cars. And Alex Brown has been trying for a while here to try and assess Pixie's strengths and weaknesses, and he's still trying to form a notebook on that, isn't he? He just can't get past him.
Yeah, he's going to have to be brave into the first corner and just send it, which you can do if you get the break right. You can really keep the speed. But Alex, as he goes wide again, he's in the gravel in the background. It looks like Monty's trying to get through on the inside. Mike's not having any of that, but they're both catching Tyler Attenborough up ahead. So this could be a three-way battle for a podium.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything regarding a penalty for Tyler on Waterborne, have we? But we'll expect one possibly. Monty now has got a great run here on Mike, and Mike's going to fight back his ear, not too hard. He decides to let that one go, I think, the looks of it. And Monty now is up into 4th, so Monty really has a podium in his sights here. Stuart Davis, I think, is cruising up ahead, to be honest. Del Boy as well, he's matching him in terms of pace speed, so nearly 7 seconds off the first position. So the battle really is here with a couple of laps left to go for 3rd position, isn't it?
Yeah, Del Boy's ahead up the road, so Stu, so unless they have a little spin or something, I can't imagine them those two being bothered with only 2 laps left. But no word on if Tyler's got a penalty, this could be his first podium if he can keep it all clean. It looks like Mike's fighting back on Monty in the background there, so he's not even safe.
Yeah, Mike, it's only his 2nd round with the Racing League, and he really has shown what sort of pace he's got. And he's shown as well his racecraft as well. And I'm really impressed with Mike, it has to be said, and his consistency as well, actually. And he's shown that he's got the pace of the leaders, hasn't he? So it'll be interesting to see how he develops as well in future races. But today is all about Monty Momo and the recovery drive he's been having. And he's absolutely shot back up through the field at 4th position now. And he's been the man on a mission as Monty. And he really is trying to minimise it. This is the sort of thing that Stewart has tried to contend with. Even when Monty has a bad day, he still somehow manages to get back on the podium.
Yeah, and they're both off. They're both
making up their own route.
Yeah, that's the rally crosses to the left there, boys, not that side. As you see, Matt now down in 8th. Not as good as the first race, but he'll be happy. He's score some points. Ahead of Welsh Taff and Dan, we haven't really seen much of Dan. I wonder if I think he might have retired because it says he's about 8 minutes off the leader, so that usually that's a sign of disconnection or something. As Monty now all over the back of Tyler. Tyler's only got this next lap to hold on to the lead, third place, and he might have his first podium. There's Stu there, almost making a mistake. He also went in the barriers. He's come to lap, looks like Welsh Taff. Welsh Taff just stays on the inside, gets very on the inside to get out of the way. That's a bit extreme there. As we go back to the proper, and that's Monty off. That's going to allow Mike back through and into the barrier. That's not what he wanted. He was aiming for a podium, now he's back down in 5th.
That's very uncharacteristic there from Monty, and down to 5th. Just a little mistake there. It shows how close the field is. One little mistake and that can happen. This is Matt now fending off Alex Brown. Alex Brown seems to have dropped back behind Matt somewhere, but probably that trip to the beach. But anyway, he's back through now on Matt, and Matt's trying to fight back hard though for that position. And the 8th position, and Stuart Davis flashing his lights, and you can tell he's very happy indeed to get that win, and it's probably one of the easiest wins he'll get all season. And Del Boy there, fantastic drive to 2nd, really salvaging some good points after race 1. And Tyler Waterbomb, just on the line. I think Mike might have got him on the line. Fantastic for Mike. I don't know if Tyler Waterbomb thought the race was over or something. I wasn't sure where the finish line was, but sensational, Alex.
Yeah, he just got pipped on the straight for his first podium. That's you don't see that very often.
Brutal.
Yeah, you see, it's. I wonder if he had an issue with wrong gear coming out the last corner. But you see there, Stu there with 9-second gap to Del Boy in second place, which really shows what could have been in the first race. And Monty down in the big news, Monty back down in 5th where he could have been 3rd. So that's big news for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, a man who did feature a lot in race 1, Dan Holloway, did not finish the second race there, so this allows now Alex Brown to shoot up into 4th place in the championship. It looks like Del Boy is a little bit too far ahead now, we never know what can happen. He's Alex Brown 4th, ahead of Dan Holloway, ahead of Welsh Champ. Pixie isn't far off either. Pixie's got that position quite solid actually over Mike as well there now, and Matt, and Tyler Autobomb, his first event with us. He's got 4 points to show for it, so he might be thinking he can catch Matt at the next one. We'll have to wait and see, but Matt's been going along nicely too today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's really gone really well, 5th place and an 8th I think in the end. So yeah, it shows he's improving. It's good to see the international drivers with the 2 Americans on the grid.
Yes, so it all comes down to the last race now, round 8 at Dubai, and we'll have to wait and see who wins this championship. It's still all to play for, so join us next time.